Hello and welcome to Discovering Grayslake, unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wool, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders, right here where we call home, Grayslake. But before we dive in, I'd like to thank a couple very special sponsors that make this show happen. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. This podcast is also brought to you by the Cashmore Financial Group. Financial advice for everyday people. Turn your financial stress into financial success. Randy and Zach Cashmore look forward to taking care of all of your financial needs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. I love starting off. So here's the first thing. I want to give a big shout out to Agora. So this is what we're going to do from now on is he has been so kind. Luke has been so kind to let us broadcast from Agora. So this is our new home. So thank you, Luke, very much. I am sitting across the table, and she's not nervous at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Maribeth Hamm, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I am fantastic. So Maribeth and I we could say we have a history, right?
Yeah.
I think I first met you when you were was it First Midwest Bank?
First Midwest Bank, yeah.
Yeah, and I was bouncing checks all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, deadbeat. Always on my list.
That's right. So we got to be really good friends. And then I had the honor to DJ both of your daughter's weddings.
Yep.
And then I didn't get to do your wedding.
No, you didn't.
I know. Yeah, sorry. Not sure how that happened.
I don't either.
Yeah, especially after you saved my ass a bunch of times. So currently you are the executive director of the chamber.
Yes.
What is that actually?
Today is my 4th year anniversary. Time flies when you're having fun.
Really?
Yes.
4 years?
4 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that a position that you were looking forward to having?
No. It was not even a position I was looking forward to. Looking to ever have.
Okay. So why did you take that position?
So I worked at a bank.
Mm-hmm.
And after umpteen zillion years, my job was eliminated. So I went to work for another bank.
Okay.
Great bank, North States. And then the first bank that I worked at bought North States. So they eliminated my job once again.
You got eliminated twice.
Eliminated twice. So I thought, I'm not going to a bank again. 3 times is not a charm.
Right.
So during that, I was just figuring out what I wanted to do. I was a board member on the Grayslake Chamber for forever. And during that time, I heard some rumblings.
Yeah.
And me and a couple of the other ones got together and we did some research and found out that there was some funds being missed from the chamber. So when we confronted the past exec, she admitted to it and left. So at that time, the board was like, what do we do? So I said, you know what? I'll keep it going until we can find somebody or see. We pretty much thought we were going to close our doors.
It was that bad?
It was that bad.
Wow.
It was that bad.
So how much money are we talking?
She was, on record, was just shy of $400,000. But it was over a 10-year period.
Wow.
So the records that, everyone says to us, I can't believe you were so stupid or this or that. I was in financing my entire life. Right. So you have to remember, when you're in a nonprofit and you're a board member, first of all, it's free. You're doing it because of the good of whatever. Right. And the reports you get, why would you doubt them? They're QuickBooks reports and whatever the case may be. And I was the president prior to her becoming the executive director, and we made it. Steve Lawrence had was the president prior to me, and he made it an executive board. So we looked at statements, we looked at checkbooks, we had it all covered. So now we fast forward, I assume that's going. So when I'm looking at all these QuickBooks stuff and like, whatever, sure.
Right.
Well, through all this, we found out the exec board was kind of like fizzled out. So we weren't having meetings as often. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So it was bad. So I said, you know what, and there I was like, you can't get paid. I'm like, I get that, but what else am I going to do? You know, it was October. So I just went in and cleaned up. Oh my God, I cleaned up and just organized and got everything together. And a bunch of us board members went out and hit the street to our existing members to get the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. We found out so much, which made us, I think, stronger.
Right.
The board all bellied up to the bar. We all said we're in this for the go. We all have egg on our face, so we're all just going to figure it out together. And we came out, obviously, flying colors, and
right.
We are pretty strong right now, I'd say.
Yeah, and you know, I think the first time we spoke, when I even heard anything about that, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you is because I think anybody that does know about this, and we'll rewind here in a little bit, but really restoring the faith of the community and the members in
right.
the chamber. And I've heard with flying colors that you have done a kick-ass job doing that.
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't know if that's the right terminology that's my terminology that I use. But it was a big deal. And so the situation we're talking about, do we call it, is it embezzlement? Is that what it's?
Yep, she's a felon now.
Wow, in jail?
Yep.
Prison or jail?
Well, she went to prison in Texas.
So it's a federal.
Yes, the FBI. Yeah, the FBI was involved.
Wow.
So when we brought it to the Grayslake, do you want to hear this?
Yeah, no, I want to hear it. I think everybody needs to hear it because it seems like a lot of this was just kind of, there was a little blurb in a newspaper once, but no, it was never, I didn't know about it until a month ago.
Yeah, I don't know why it was all hush hush. It made the Channel 7 news one time. So I'm trying to think what.
Yeah, no, okay, so basically.
Lost my train of thought. I'm so excited over this, finally telling it. No.
I know.
So she went to.
It was a federal crime, I think that's
So we went to, yeah, phew. Hope you're going to be able to take some of that out.
Yeah, that we're good.
So we went to the Grayslake Police. They did a phenomenal job. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. So we met with them, and then once it gets to a certain dollar figure, they have to let the FBI know, just because they have to. So Jeff Myra with the police department then gave it to the FBI, and the FBI was like, yeah. So once the FBI comes in, I don't know if people don't realize that once the FBI comes in, you can't talk to anybody. You can't let them know the FBI is involved. Nothing. It is. So people were like, oh my gosh, it's under the rug. They're not doing anything. And we're like, yes, we are. We got slammed quite a bit. But we were. You know, the FBI does their homework because if you know, according to them, 99% of their cases are guilty.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I'm not being investigated by the FBI.
Yeah, you don't want to be investigated by the FBI.
So during this time, all of this bad stuff is happening, and people are probably asking 1,000 questions, but you're not allowed to say anything or talk to the press or talk to anybody.
No, everything it's in the police's hands. It's with the police. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So how long did that take?
Too long.
Right.
COVID hit. So, COVID put everything. So it was pretty much last, I think November was our first time to court because she pleaded not guilty and then she pleaded guilty. So it was a change of plea. So we went in November and it was a change of plea. And then in February. In February she went to a jury, to the judge, and he gave her the sentencing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then
then she had 6 weeks to get her affairs in order, and then she had to go down to Texas. It was in Texas.
Wow. That's crazy. First of all, they're the FBI in Grayslake. That's a whole nother thing. Like, wow, we're really on the map now. So you said that money that was stolen was over $400,000 and over like a 10-year period.
Correct. So she will have to pay us back full restitution, and then she had 18 months in jail. So
how in the hell is she going to pay that back?
to have a job.
Right. Wow. I'm sorry, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Like, wow, how did they do that?
Yeah.
And so all those funds that were in there that were stolen were just little by little over events and everything. So she had all control over that.
Correct. But the one thing that I have to say, if you paid dues or if you donated to one of the events happened. So were they not to what they are now or whatever the case may be? So your dues still went for, you were in a book, you were, you got everything that you paid for. If you gave money for an event or you sponsored the carriages, we had the carriages at Christmas time. So nothing didn't happen. It's just not, maybe, now we have better bands and
right.
So things like that. And
right.
So we've just taken it up a notch and
right.
tried to do more for the members.
Right. So so I'm going to ask you some questions just because I don't know anything about it. So this is all done by one person?
Yes.
Wow. And how in the heck over that time, like it makes me think of how much other embezzling of other things and organizations go on. So I'm sure that they investigated everybody.
Oh, they didn't say that, but I am sure that all of our accounts were looked into. They'd have to.
Yeah, they had to.
They have to look at all the board members, and I'm sure. Yeah.
Wow. So walking into that position after that shit show, excuse my French, that couldn't have been easy.
No. I had phenomenal board members. We all looked at each other and realized it was on all of our watches. So we all said we would stick this out for a year. We'd bring it up, and everybody stepped up, and we started, like I said, going out and meeting businesses. I started calling and getting new businesses. All events, we took it up a notch to make it just be, you don't come down for the tree lighting and we count to 5 and the lights go on there, everybody goes home.
Right.
So now we have a market and we've got, bands are better.
Yeah.
We're doing after hours, more ribbon cuttings, more networking.
I don't know if it's just because after I started doing the podcast, but it seems like every time I get on anything to look, there is something going on. You guys are busy.
We are very busy.
And you really are, I'm appreciative of it just because I've ran a small business my entire life, to see how proud these people are and what a big deal it is to put your life on the line to start a new business and to get support from your community and support from the chamber.
There's nothing better when they open up, when a new business opens up and they want to have the ribbon cutting and they're so excited and their family's all there and they're giving you tours, and it is fun. I think that's really fun. It's just the excitement of their faces, their dream come true.
Right, and it's fun to see because I've been in a couple of these ribbon cuttings, and it's cool to see how much support we get from the community that come out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because obviously you can't work without the support of your community all the way around it.
Well, Grayslake is so good. They support everybody.
So good. It is so good. Now, how long have you been in our community? I
unfortunately do not live here.
But why are you so involved in Grayslake then?
So when I worked at my first bank, we were on Lake Street in the little trailer. Do you remember that trailer? It used to be Parkway grocery store was across the street from us.
Oh my gosh.
So that it's a double wide trailer.
Yes, I do.
So back in the 90s, we brought the bank there, and I just grew it, and then we built the branch on 83 and Washington.
Yeah.
So my heart was here, and so I was the branch manager at the time, and then once I was promoted, I always still came back because I loved Grayslake. We grew from nothing to having all those accounts, and we were the bank for Grayslake.
You were?
And so I worked really hard, and so I got to meet so many people. So even though my office still stayed in Grayslake, but I oversaw all of Lake County, and I went to all the different branches, I always came back here.
I saw you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're here, and what a good way to get to know everybody, especially new people coming in to open a business account or whatever. So you got to know everyone.
Right, and I tell them to join the chamber, and yeah.
Right. I like to go back because my friend Bill Cornett says that I sometimes skip the obvious. So when you say you have this double wide trailer across from Parkway Foods, I think is what it was. That grocery store is at the end of Center Street where the
condos are.
Yeah, where the condos are. God, how our town has changed.
Oh my gosh, just craziness.
It's amazing to think about what it used to look like, and it really wasn't even that long ago. I mean, it's just not even a generation ago to say that how many things like that changed. But I think for the better too.
Oh, definitely. We have the cutest downtown. One of my granddaughters did the Memorial Day parade. We walked for the Exchange Club handing out flags, so she was handing out flags. And she told me that when we're walking back, we were on our way to something's brewing. She goes, "When I get big, if I don't live downtown, I'm living in Grayslake."
That's awesome.
And I said, "Oh, that's so cute." But it is so true. It's like, they come, they come to all the events, and they spend time down here, and they love it.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Because, a lot of people that tell their stories about how they came to Grayslake, either they came to visit a friend or they were down here for something, and they just fall in love with our town.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody I brought downtown to do anything hasn't said, "Oh my God, this town is so cute."
It is kind of cute.
Yes.
And even if you take how small our actual downtown is, we were talking about it the other day, it's like 3 blocks, really, right?
Right. I mean, Grayslake is so much bigger than just that little town.
Right.
That little spot. But without a downtown, I don't think you have a real town.
Absolutely. And I had the pleasure to have, I think, 2 or 3 different offices right downtown. It was a really cool place to run a business where you can just walk and go down the street, and tons of places to eat and drink. And we just need to get more bars on the other side of the street. Yeah. Can you do something about that?
I'll try.
But maybe it's done by design so people don't have to cross the street.
That's true.
Unless you're going to First Draft.
First Draft. Well,
right.
if you start there and hurry up and go across the street in the crosswalk, you're good.
Right. And most people stop at that intersection too, even though it's a walkway, but it irritates the hell out of me to watch people stop there all the time because you can tell who's from Grayslake and who's not when they're driving through to see if they actually stop before that. So running all of these events, do you have a favorite event that goes on in Grayslake?
I do.
All right. Can't wait to hear it.
Tree lighting.
Really?
Because it started out with nothing.
Okay.
You turn the lights
started
up.
like how many years ago?
Oh my gosh. Well, before me, they turned the lights on, and they had stuff at different places. But you turn the lights on. We have a stage. The mayor talks. We've had singers. We had bands. So my goal. During COVID, I watched way too much Hallmark.
Yep.
So I'm waiting for Hallmark to call me and say they want to do a movie downtown Grayslake because the street is completely black. There is not a light to be had.
Right.
So we've started adding vendors. So like a little Kris Kringle market, I'm still working on. We keep wanting to get more. So if anybody wants to do it this year, still openings. There's my commercial.
There it is.
But we had, like last year, Zach did glass blowing from Steiner. He blew glass ornaments on the street so you could watch him do glass blowing, and then you could buy his ornaments.
How cool is that?
It was very cool. The Boy Scouts sold hot dogs, wreaths. We had people that sold nuts. I had a donut guy. And I offer it to all the businesses. If you have something, if you want to just come out,
right.
Romney Candles, she makes hats and gloves, and she brought all hers out and sold almost everything. And so the street was just filled with people.
Right.
And then Santa comes on the train or on the fire truck.
Right.
And then the band. So we added the band. So the band comes down and plays, and they because it's dark.
Yeah.
They put lights on all their instruments. So you see them coming down the street, and it's still pitch dark with all the lights. I'm telling you, if you haven't come down, it is. And then when all the lights go on, it's just magical. It's beautiful. The village has so many lights. So many lights.
It's amazing, especially when they flip the switch and they all come on. How amazing!
Yes, when they It's
It
beautiful.
is kind of like a Hallmark movie.
It is, and it's the holidays. It's not religious. It's just
Right.
turning lights on, and some of the businesses, it's their best day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess with everybody flooding the streets like that, because you have any idea the number of people that come out? It would be hard to count.
Last year was probably our biggest, but it was a perfect storm. I think it was like 55. It was gorgeous.
That's awesome.
It was gorgeous, but afterwards I went in to 27 houses, and Michelle just was shaking her head like, thank you, best day.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, so stuff like that. I mean, these are all small businesses, and and I've heard from many, something's through, and everyone does really well because people know they come down here,
right.
And all the restaurants, when it's over, they go in there, even though, I just have a donut guy, but, you're going to go into all the restaurants, so I think it's a great day for everybody.
It is. I unfortunately missed out on a lot of it because I remember the only ones that I think I've been to is I would go down to the Oasis to get Santa pictures with my kids.
Yep.
Yeah. And Kristen Cashmore was always down there doing them.
Yep. So she's doing them. She still takes the pictures.
Oh, she does.
But now we're in mock design across the street from Emil's, the one with the big pillars.
Yes.
That's for sale. So Santa goes in there.
Okay.
So Santa goes in there, and then we have a couple businesses that will be in there and help people get their coats off and do coloring. And
wow. That's really cool. It really is. And it's a great family event.
It is a very fun family thing because we have carriage rides. Yeah. And then over at the Heritage Center, you can the giving tree. So any nonprofit can do a tree and decorate to any way you want. I mean, those trees are phenomenal. What they have done.
I am missing out on a lot.
You are.
I am.
You better plan on coming down.
Okay, so this year we're going to go for the biggest crowd ever.
Yeah.
Yes, and
hopefully
the weather. the weather probably has a lot to do with it.
It could snow just a little bit.
Sure, just as Santa and the band is playing, just like a snow globe kind of snow.
That's all.
It'd be great.
That's all.
So who puts all that together? That's everything you said. I thought you were going to name like 3 things, but you end up naming like 27 of them.
We have so every event has people that help, directors, and then some from the community. Not everybody is a director that serves on all of our events.
Gotcha.
So between all of us, we determine what they do, and I go get it.
Wow. So you're busy.
I am busy for my part-time job.
Okay, so this is your part-time job, and then what are you doing for your full-time job?
Yeah, and I think this is a full-time job.
Yes. So you have, sometimes it's hard to find the time to do all that.
It is.
But it's cool to see how you actually have a job that you can see how it impacts our community. And I don't think, especially maybe a lot of people listening, don't understand everything that goes on behind the scenes to actually make that happen.
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot. And people don't realize we were planning in February for this.
Really?
We're already planning, like next Monday is planning for summer days. I have a meeting tomorrow night for Beer Fest next year. So yeah, it's a lot of meetings.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because you've got to get bands, you've got to get food trucks, you've got to get a lot of stuff lined up before the event happens. And food trucks are now the biggest rage.
Thing. Right.
So, and you got to get bands, and you just got to make sure, and my tent company.
Wow. So there's a lot that goes in there. So with the chamber, being the executive director, do you know how many businesses are in the chamber right now?
Just shy of 300.
300?
2 something, yeah.
Wow. And she's trying to get me to join the chamber.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I don't know what I would do there. I could provide some entertainment and say stupid stuff that I know nothing about to help everybody out. Wait, 300? That seems like a huge number to me.
It should be more. Grayslake is pretty big.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you think about how big Grayslake actually is, besides thinking of downtown and how it spreads out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
My goal is 500. I might be working till I'm forever.
Right. So we're going to use this, and the next person that joins the chamber that says, "I listen to Maribeth's podcast, and I'm here to join the chamber."
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano. and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people. That would be great. Okay, so since we're talking about that, you asked me to join the chamber. So what value does it have to me? Or to somebody listening who has a small business or big business that's not part of the chamber? Why do I join?
Well, it's like anything else. You can join and just get your name. We have a book that goes out to everybody who lives in the 30 zip code. It's a community guide that has a lot of good information besides all the businesses that are chamber members in there. And when somebody calls me, you'd be surprised how many people get to the chamber for the craziest questions, but they'll want to know, I'm moving into town, what's the best bank? Or I'm going to be picking up my father, he lives over in Saddlebrook, and what would be a good restaurant that would handle wheelchairs? I'm telling you, who can I order flowers from for my... It's amazing. And I go right to my book, and they need to be in the book.
Wow.
So they need to be chamber members. So it's amazing how many people do call the chamber. And I, like for their realtors, I give them all of them. I don't just say, oh my gosh,
right,
here's one. We've got great realtors on ours, and we've got great restaurants. So I try to give them all and then give them a little bit of, the service that they have. And I would say joining is great, but you got to get involved. And that's probably what's kept me in Grayslake, is because I got involved in the chamber and met great people, and I look forward to being with them or doing an event, working, pouring beers with them and having fun and
right,
whatever the case may be. So that's and that's how it's like, wait, my daughter needs a car loan. Oh, really? Oh, can I get a home equity? I never was that person that says, hey, that elevator commercial. I never was that. I wanted people to get to know me because I think you do business on how you feel towards somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
especially, and it's nice to, it's kind of like I got a guy. So if they come to the chamber and they need anything, we have somebody locally that's a chamber member to help them.
Right.
Wow, 300.
Mm-hmm. Two something. I wouldn't go 300.
Something. Okay, almost. Nobody quote me on
yeah.
that. Okay, so do you have any idea who the oldest chamber member is?
We did last year. We did one for 25 years. Who had been in the chamber for 25 years? That thing was full. You'd be surprised. There are some major,
really?
like Baird & Warner and Strength Funeral Home, and you've got a lot of businesses that have been here for a long time. That 25-year plus was amazing to see how many. Ace Hardware. I mean, there's a lot. Some have changed names, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt because they continue to stay in the chamber. First Northwest Bank is now Old National. Of course, they're the orthodontist specialists, but they were Selkie. So there was changes, but yeah, there is. I would say more than half are 25 plus.
That says a lot about our town. Mm-hmm. It really does.
And you think about it, nobody closed during COVID.
That's amazing.
Downtown,
right.
And all the chamber members, no one called me and said I have to close my doors because of COVID. So I think that says a lot.
Yeah, about community support as well.
I think that's what COVID taught us. Shop local, shop.
For real, especially for when I don't know who was doing other things, but during the times where it was like, okay, on Tuesday night it's order out night or whatever. Right. This day we're gonna order out food, and I have a lot of friends that say, this day of the week we will go get this.
Right. And I was buying gift cards. It's like, okay, I can't eat, but I'll get. I was trying to make myself buy gift cards, and so at least they got that money.
Right. On a recording I did yesterday, I was looking forward to when we could do a podcast without saying the word COVID.
But shoot, we're almost there.
I know, but it really, and you go back, and the funny thing is that every time we've talked about it has been the positives that have come out of it. The way people gathered together, the way people supported each other. Even I had an interview with a mental health specialist, and how the really big thing I took out of that is it kind of normalized that people, that need a professional for mental health, that somehow during that time it really made it's okay to have to go see somebody.
Right.
So it kind of shaped our community.
You're not
and
shamed that you, oh my gosh, I have to go see somebody. Like,
right.
Oh, I know them.
Right, and now everybody's like, everybody should have a therapist. Everybody should just have somebody to talk to. Hence the reason you can't get an appointment anywhere
right.
or anything. And how that changed our children's lives too.
Yeah.
Through everything. But I don't want to be redundant on anything we talk about. I think some of the coolest things about our town that you're talking about, some of these businesses, whether it was, because I grew up here and, used to ride my bike and we'd save enough money that we could ride our bikes downtown and we could go to Fred's Diner because they had a hamburger special. And I think it was like $4.25 or whatever it was, but we would save the money and ride and that was a really picturesque kind of scene at that time. We're talking 80s.
Yeah.
And how downtown has changed, and I think everything has gotten better, but still kept that small town feel to it.
Right.
And it is a place we can let our kids go walk around. Mm-hmm. And there's not a lot of towns that you can let your kids go, hey, my daughter say, we're going to go to Tasty Freeze and we're going to walk around downtown. I don't even have a second thought about it. So.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's why Summer Days is another good one, but we need to find something for those tweens, because you've got something for the adults. Yeah. You got something for the little kids, but those, and I look at growing up, I was Lake Villa, so Lake Villa Days was everything. You'd hang out with your friends, and you were pretty cool, but they had good rides. Unfortunately, with everything else, the rides are all taken. The carnival world is another, they're all somewhere else. So, but if we could just find something for them, because it is a fun place to hang out, and there's nothing really for them to do.
Really? There isn't?
No.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so that's something we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody has an idea,
that's right. Call us. We're working on it right now.
Let us know. But it is a weird age in the way that our times have changed with people using electronics and everything.
Right.
Whatever we can do to get them away from them.
Exactly.
To gather. And when Joyce Campbell and I were talking, about the Oasis and how cool that was,
oh my
just
God,
a great.
So cool. It was so cool.
Is she not the coolest person on the planet?
She is. I worked with Joyce on lots of stuff. Yes, very nice woman.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite people, and I wish looking back I'd gotten to know her a lot better.
Yeah, she was a good person.
Yeah, I think we need to move her back and get her doing some stuff again. Get her back in here. So with all the stuff that's happened, and I know we've talked about some things that maybe people didn't know about, especially it was a terrible thing that happened, and I'm glad that there was some justice brought to it.
Me too.
Yeah. So other things maybe, I obviously you probably learned a lot about how to make sure that never happens again.
Yeah.
The checks and balances of that have to be a big thing.
That was the first thing we put into place. I mean, people signing, no one doesn't sign. Yeah, there's so much in there. It's, yeah.
Yeah,
but when you deal with cash.
Right.
I had a vendor at Summer Days hand me $500 for his spot, and okay, and I put it back in my back pocket. I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And people hand you cash all the time,
right.
All the time.
So that's probably how things happen,
right?
And without responsible, trustworthy people to be in charge of that.
Yep. The carnival that was here in September or April, you get a percentage of what they bring in.
Right.
We were in the parking lot, and he's handing me $4,300 cash. And I said, I told you I wanted a check. He's like, I know, but I get it. The carnival, it's all cash. I get it.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my God.
I'm sure carnival people are very upstanding citizens paying their taxes. I'm sure that
they
they don't pocket it.
No.
I'm sure they don't.
No, but I got $4,300 in cash.
Wow, it sounds like a drug deal going on.
I know, that's
right?
why I said, oh my gosh, here we are. I said, everybody's looking in the window.
That's funny. So that's Summer Days. Do we have an event that is the most profitable event that we do in Grayslake?
Profitable? How do you mean?
How about this? What is the most expensive event we put on that has to be the most profitable?
Summer Days. Summer Days is a loss.
Summer Days is a loss.
Because we hopefully not for much longer. We just need to get more sponsors, obviously, because we're getting bigger and better bands.
Right. And the sponsorships that you guys have, I've seen the people sponsors and the sponsored banners and everything. It's worth the money. Everybody in Grayslake is here.
Oh my gosh.
And not even Grayslake. People come from all over the place to come to our town.
Yeah. Yeah. And Summer Days, we did this new lighting, and so your money was so well spent, on sponsorship. So we just have to work more on that. Right. To get more sponsorships. But yeah, the bands, I mean, you can't get a band. They're expensive.
They're really expensive. Wow. So if someone here listening wanted to sponsor something, is there a specific kind of business? Do you only let a certain amount of like realtors or a certain amount of anything? There's nothing.
No. To be a sponsor, you have to be a chamber member.
Okay.
And you can sponsor anything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So chamber members, step it up. You know that these things have been a loss, so step it up. And I'm sure that you have all kinds of different tiers of sponsorship, so they can do everything.
We do.
Would it be inappropriate for me to ask on, because I get to DJ a lot of town events or village events or park district events and everything, and it seems like, just like everything, that there's a core group of sponsors that do everything. It seems like maybe a couple others sprinkled in that you'll see, but there's a core group of sponsors that do stuff.
I think especially your long-term ones that have been with us for a long time, they know, okay, this is what I'm doing. Boom, 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 boom. They get their check and boom. In their mind, they already know who and what they're going to sponsor.
Right.
So yes, it is a lot of it the same. But hopefully, we're going to get more on the community, because I think people just don't realize that they can sponsor.
Right.
Sometimes they join the chamber and that's it.
Right. Just to say they're a chamber member.
Chamber member.
But one I think important thing, especially as a business person, to know that for some reason, if these people do that for every event, there's value to it, or they wouldn't be doing it every year.
Right.
Like, there's businesses in town, just because I've had to say their name on a microphone at 7 different events, that they're a household name if you live in the town. So it's great, and it's great to see their support.
Right.
And people that support our town, I support them back, because I know what they're doing. And they're doing it just out of the kindness of their heart, kindness of, and it's advertising. But there
Getting
is
their
value
advertising
to it.
Yeah, I think anybody who does anything with the chamber, there's value. I think they get more than their money's worth. Our social media is up. You
guys are doing a really good job with that. By the way, I like to watch people and see how many things are posted or how many things are going on. Even live video from the grand openings, which is great. Who does that, by the way?
Sometimes at the grand openings, I'll do that.
Okay.
I hold the camera. That's why you never see me in on the camera. I'm the camera
smart.
girl. I'm very smart. I like it too. Don't have to worry about it.
That's why it took me 6 weeks to get you in here to talk to me.
Exactly. I'm filming.
Behind the scenes, right.
I'm behind the scenes. Much better off at behind the scenes. And then we just hired Mock Design, and they are now our social media person. So he's been behind the camera. So when you see the really great post of, and then you can click to do all kinds of stuff, that's his. But if you just see a live post, that's me.
Gotcha.
You'll be able to tell the difference.
Well, everybody will be like, oh, Maribeth's behind the camera
she's
now.
out there again.
Oh, here we go. Now, if people want to follow for events, is it just Grayslake Chamber? Do you go like Facebook, Instagram, everything?
Yep, just Grayslake Chamber. Just like us, and you'll be able to see all of our posts.
Yeah, and like the posts, otherwise they'll stop showing up.
Right.
And I like to encourage everybody, again, even sitting here just talking with you is one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, is because I think our town is awesome, and I think real people need to support each other. And I know that we have a ton of support, but we can always do more. More people need to be involved in different things. More people need to spread the good word and going on things. And sometimes we need to talk about some crappy things that happen.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but how we move forward for that.
Right. It's the past. We've moved forward, and it's it's, as far as we're concerned, it's over. It's done.
Right.
And we are moving forward in a good way. We don't hear that negative anymore. No one really asks us anymore, so that's
it doesn't sound like many people knew about it. Now you're going to get 1,000 questions on it. Yeah, I heard you talking to Dave. What the hell happened? I never knew.
What?
That's what I said when I was talking with one of my friends, and they said something that happened, and then I Googled it up to find out this and that, and I was like, prison, Texas. I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. But not to dwell on the negative.
Nope.
But I think
full steam ahead.
Right, and sometimes we need things like that to move us really, really forward.
Right.
Okay, so it's really interesting to me, too, because I've done some interviews with people that are from Grayslake, lifers in Grayslake, but maybe have a business right outside. But it really is intriguing to me that you live right outside of Grayslake, but you've kind of made this your home away from home.
It is my home. It truly is my home. If someone said, yeah, and it's so funny. Well, it's not funny, but we had a rental on Harvey, just a cute little tiny little ranch. And we had renters, and I always thought, oh, that'll be our home. That'll be our home. And then everything hit, and it's like, oh, between having two houses, we decided to get rid of it. Now I'm thinking, oh, I could have walked to work.
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome.
I did see it. There was hindsight of us having that rental.
Right. Okay, so what are your plans? So you're the executive director. You almost 4 years. So
4 years today.
4 years today. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shows how much I listen. Right? Not supposed to be thinking about all these things. So what are your plans moving forward? How long do you plan on being the executive director?
That is like everyone's question to me lately.
Really?
Because I'm old, obviously.
You are not.
They're realizing,
I think we're all old.
How long is she going to do this? Well, we've decided that we are going to, the board has decided to, because it is getting a lot. It's a lot. Thank goodness I had help this summer, last 2 summers.
Right.
I had an internship, Randy Cashmore's son.
Oh, Zach.
Nate.
Oh,
No,
Nate. You had Nate Cashmore.
Nate Cashmore.
I love that kid.
So it was wonderful. But he's a senior. I know he's not coming back next year.
Right.
Excuse me. So I said, I get the events, and I like summer days. I got there at 8 o'clock, and I left at 1:30 because it's like a party at your house. You got to stay until everybody leaves.
Of course.
Because you never know.
Right.
And that doesn't include all the signs that have to go up the night before and no parking. There's a lot more into it than people realize. It's not just the event and we all go home.
Right.
So I had said I think it's getting too big. All of our events are getting too big for just me and a volunteer here and there. So what we've decided is we are going to have an events coordinator. So they would do more of ordering the porta potties and ordering, making sure all my signs are up, and I'd still work with them, but that part so that I can focus more on getting my membership up to
to 500.
To 500.
Yeah, because it's amazing that you don't have an events coordinator with everything going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, and I have some phenomenal volunteers that have come and they help me schlep and they do a lot. I don't know where I'd do without them. But, a lot of them are retiring too.
Right.
So.
All right. Retiring too, you just said. And I just asked how long you're going to be. So you dodged the question completely.
I know. I'm going to get, I said, the village manager keeps saying, you have to give a year's notice. I'm like, a year's notice? I would never let them be dry. If I can, I love meeting people. I love doing the after hours. I love networking. That's what I'm good at. I love, what, you need this? I know somebody. I got a guy.
Right.
That part I like. And if it's more of that and I can bring it up, I'm sure I would be here for a little while longer.
Right. But if you have to do everything, you can't even have a life.
My whole summer is gone. And, my grandkids are getting bigger and, they're a lot of fun. So I miss a lot with them. Like you said, for DJing, you miss so much. I don't want to keep missing all that.
Yeah, and when you're gone for all those events, or even when I had to work those events, you can't enjoy them with your family. What are you going to do?
Right.
The most fun events in your town you live in, you can't have fun at because you're working it.
Right. One of my daughters came down, they were eating pizza, and I'm like, just come on, have pizza. And I'm sitting there, and he was like, oh, a band's going on. Hold on. Shh. And I ran out, came back in, but it was fun.
That's great though, and it's fun. And everything has its timeline to do stuff. So
right, somebody new will have some new ideas. So
right, but have that events coordinator would be amazing.
Would be huge.
That would help out a lot. So how many podcasts have you listened to?
Oh, 10 plus.
You have?
I have.
Okay, what has been your favorite one so far?
Oh my gosh, they all are so different.
Thank you. That's what I hope they are.
They are all so different because you think I listened to Randy and Kristen and obviously Nano and Jim, and I listened to Luke this morning and the new hair salon. That's their new chamber members. So I love that they gave a
Mona Ray, right?
Mona Ray, and they gave a quick that they're doing a ribbon cutting, and
that's right. They have one coming out November 1st.
November 1st.
I'm not supposed to say dates on here because if people listen to this a year from now, whatever. But they are having the ribbon cutting on November 1st, 2023.
Right.
Right.
And Michelle, 27 houses, and Mike. But it's funny, you think you know people, but they're going to enjoy. You hear something that either makes you laugh or think, oh my gosh, seriously, or it's just been fun. Robin, I've been, yeah.
Good. Wow, you're on the ball. I like
am.
this.
I have been listening. That's why I kept saying, why does he want me?
You bring so much value to this town. I've learned so much just by sitting here just talking to you about this. And it's funny because when people say your name, like I didn't know what you exactly do. I knew that you were a big wig at the chamber. That's all I knew.
Oh, yeah.
But then things come together and I have to know things. Okay, so since you've listened to them, we do have a segment that's sponsored by our friends at Barbecue Productions. If you're looking for great barbecue, obviously, go see Chris over there and the staff. They're great. They're doing great things. The food's awesome. And you know what? A lot of restaurants, no matter what anybody thinks, a lot of restaurants are struggling right now. Mm-hmm. So I think now is the time, too.
He's everywhere, though.
What's that?
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He's got his hands in so many different things. You know, I was at Station 51. I've been to, all these. Finally went. Thanks, Chris, that I've been there now.
Yeah, I just went the first time too.
Yeah, and it's cool. The little robots coming around and the little food truck little menu things. It's really cool. So, and Chris, we appreciate you. And he's one that's given back to the community a lot too. So dig that. So we call this the Grayslake Hot Seat. So I'm going to go through these, and I promise, once again, by the end of this one. After this, I'm going to write all new questions, because now you're actually prepared because you've listened.
Well, some of them, when you start doing the questions, I'm like, I sometimes maybe turn it off, so I don't.
Okay.
I might.
Why do you turn it off then? So do I need to change it?
No, I mean, well, I do listen to it, but I'm just saying,
just teasing.
Yeah, I mean.
Just teasing. Actually, these are some of my favorite parts because a lot of them had turned into stories that I look at people and go, what the hell is going on here? How did we go down this rabbit hole of things?
Yeah, the blue jean one?
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to get rid of that one. So I hope people
So I did hear that one.
Because that one's my favorite for some stupid reason. I love that question. Okay, so what is your favorite band?
Band
or musical artist?
Oh, now I'm going to show my age.
That's fine.
Well, let's see. Summer days, I have fallen in love with the boy band Review.
Oh, really?
But I love Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond. Great answer. We've never had that one.
Yeah, of course, I'm old. I told you.
Right. Well, hey, no. It's irrelevant. We're only as old as we feel we are. So
that's true.
I'm like 12. Mentally, anyway. This is one of my favorite ones. I'd never do blank again.
Wow.
I know it's a hard one.
That is. I don't remember you asking that question.
I know. That's why I wrote it. That's why I usually never get down to number 46.
Oh my gosh. I don't. I just did something not too long ago and thought, I'll never do that again, but I can't remember what it was. Let me think about that.
All right. Well, maybe we'll come back to that.
Okay.
What's the last thing you purchased on Amazon?
Probably clothes.
Okay, because that usually tells a lot about something.
Mm-hmm.
What was your last Google search? What'd you look up?
Oh, I just looked up an address.
Oh, all right. Not to get here because you know where a
door
door is.
Yeah, no.
How many bad decisions do you make a year? These are all negative questions
Oh,
for some reason.
I'm sure I make not that many, hopefully.
Not that many. Well, we're wise.
That's right.
You make those when you're young, and then we just get better. Name a celebrity that you have met.
Celine Dion.
You met Celine Dion?
I did.
How did you do that?
We were in Hawaii. I know. My sister worked for Sprint at the time, and so they had the Pro Bowl. So we were staying at a very nice hotel.
Bougie, right?
Very, and she was playing. So we went to go see her. But meanwhile, all of a sudden, we saw her on the beach. And she was just sunbathing. And my sister and sister-in-law was like, I said, let's go by her. They're like, no. So, of course, you don't keep walking by. And then
right.
She sat up, and I'm like, so we sat down. Hello, can I get a picture with you?
You did?
Sure. Click, click.
So she was nice?
Oh, my God. Phenomenal.
Really?
Phenomenal. She was very nice. So, yeah, we all.
That's awesome.
I said, we all laughed, say, no, we can't do it. But sure enough, get out of that seat. My turn.
There's not many people I would do that to, but I would, sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, you're there. What's the worst thing?
She's sitting in her bathing suit, and, she didn't blink an eye.
Wow. All right, Celine Dion. There's a new one. Your favorite book you've ever read?
I don't like to read. I read so much working that...
You're not a reader. Okay, then what's the last show you've binge watched, or what show are you watching now?
I binge watched Suits.
Hey, how far are you on it?
I'm done.
Okay, so I had my retinal detachment surgery and I had to lay in bed for 7 days. I got to season 4 in 7 days. How much of my life did I waste? So I'm at like season 4,
you're
like
not.
middle. It's a great show.
But you think it stops on Netflix, but you have to go to Paramount to get the last one.
That's what I heard. So whatever. So
there's 9.
There's 9, and I'm only on like 4. I'm just finishing 4. I think I'm almost on the 4.
Yeah.
So then I have to go over there. Well, this is not a promotion for Suits. We are not paid. I wish we were paid to promote
they
Suits.
said they might be coming back on now because everybody's watching it.
Because I think it was an old USA show.
Yeah, it stopped in 2019.
And then for some reason it goes to Netflix and then it blows up.
Yeah.
Weird.
Because there's nothing on TV, so it is very good.
They're all the same kind of shows, and I don't watch regular TV anywhere. What's your favorite thing to put on pizza?
Mushrooms and tomato.
All right. That's a new one too. How many texts do you send a day?
Oh, not many. 5, 6.
Oh wow, you're good. I won't text you then because you're an Apple or Android girl.
Apple.
I'm not going to ask you the toilet paper one over top or under bottom because I know you're already over the top. So obviously with your texting that you do, you're a talker. You're not a texter.
I will text. Don't get me wrong. I will text, but it's not my first thing.
All right. How many days in a row have you wore those jeans without washing them?
It depends on where you go, but usually I'm a one-dayer.
Really? You like to do laundry then?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Does your car have a nickname?
No.
No. Tell me about the second time you got arrested. All right. Well, have you ever been arrested?
No.
You've never been arrested?
No. Obviously, you have.
This is not about me.
Oh, okay.
This is not about me. I could share a couple of those stories at some point, but I don't think people are here to hear about me getting arrested. What are you the most afraid of?
Wow.
It's a deep one, huh?
Failing.
Okay, so have you ever won an award?
Yes, last year the Chamber, myself and Steve Lawrence won the We Make a Difference. So they felt that the Chamber had made a huge difference in the community, and they awarded us with a plaque.
That's really cool. Who has the plaque?
Chamber office.
Chamber office. So you don't have it like sitting on your mantle at home or anything?
No, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes people are embarrassed to, say that they won awards, but
exactly.
Hey, that's one to be proud of.
It's very proud.
Right.
We came a long way.
Do you have a pet peeve? Or several?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Wow, okay. Are you a burger or hot dog?
Burger.
Favorite sports team?
Don't really have one. Well, now it's probably the Cubs because my cousin's son's now playing for them, so that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
We were a White Sox family, but now you got to be the Cubs.
You have to switch, yes. Because we would have not posted this if you would have said White Sox anyway. Yeah. And we'll end with this, with the, hey bartender, can I have a...
If we're in Wisconsin,
yep,
I would say brandy old fashioned. But if you're in Illinois, you cannot say brandy old fashioned.
It's just not the same either.
It's nowhere close.
Yeah, they don't know. Isn't it funny that you can go so good?
Why?
I have no idea. It's just a whole different world. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different world. When we go on road trips, my favorite thing to do is anywhere in Wisconsin. I don't care. And the further north you get, the better. It's just to find some strange little town and just stop in and go to the local bar or local restaurant bar and have probably the best old fashioned you've ever had.
Best ever, yeah.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
People don't know how to make them around here.
I know.
They do something
too
different.
Bad.
Yeah, so somebody in town here, start making a good old fashioned.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you make a good one, I'm sorry, we're not saying we haven't tried it yet.
Maybe they should call us and we could be the testers.
True. Okay, so me and Maribeth are going to go on an old-fashioned pub tour in Grayslake to find out who makes the best old-fashioned.
And we'll report it.
How about we record it while we're doing it?
Perfect.
We may get some real dirt. Then I'll ask you these questions again and see how different they are.
See who calls us first.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. A lot of people calling for things this time.
Right? And
we'll see how many listen.
Right. We'll see how many people listen to this. And with that being said, folks, I'm going to say this right now, too. If you are listening, make sure that you subscribe on wherever you're listening. I know people listen on YouTube. People listen on the Apple Podcast, from Spotify. It's everywhere, anywhere you can. So just make sure you subscribe so then every week when a new episode comes out, it'll alert you to listen to it. And I urge you to listen to the people that maybe we've talked about this, people you think you know, and maybe somebody you don't know anything about. Like, I came in here and did to Agora here and talked to Luke, and it's amazing. It's amazing that I knew nothing, how big this place is and what kind of value it can bring to our community.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. And if you haven't listened to his, listen to his, or go check out their website, because it's just a really, really cool place. And he's allowing us to do this here, which is even better. So after this, are we going? I think we're going to go over to the Grayslake rehab.
Get our tacos.
And get free tacos today, too. So this will be posted too late, so you can't get your free tacos. But I do know that there's an event coming up here at Agora that's going to have a food truck or something for chamber stuff, too. So that'll be fun. 26th. All right. So what we've taken out of this is if you're a Grayslake business and you're not part of the chamber, you need to join. If you are part of the chamber and you're not getting involved, we need you more involved. And, sponsorship is everything, and they make these events go round. And if you help out, then the events can get bigger and better, because it sounds like that your whole goal is to always make everything bigger and better and grander and more Hallmark Channel-ish, right?
Yes, we want people to come to Grayslake.
Yes, exactly. Anything else you want to share about your favorite town on the planet?
Nope.
I think we covered a lot of good stuff.
We did.
And when Maribeth and I were texting back and forth, she said that she was boring. I think everybody needs to write on here that absolutely not. You're a wealth of information about our town, and without you, this thing doesn't happen. So I appreciate you, and I thank you for all the help you're giving to our town.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here today.
Thanks.
All right, Grayslake, we will, hate to say it, but we'll see you next Tuesday.